I want y'all
I
to
am
tell
no
me
child.
whether or
Do
not
not call me a child. I am no child.
I want
Don't
to
even
find
start.
out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those
I'm 47 years
emails
old. I have broken
actually
more
have.
glass ceilings than you
Chairman,
ever
I
will
am
in
reclaiming my
life.
time.
You will not do that. I
Order.
am not a
Chairman,
child.
I am reclaiming my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr. Chairman, the committee is not in order.
All right. Order.
Congressman, what's your reaction?
Okay. Time out. Time out. Wait a minute. Let me put some pimping. Okay, hey. If somebody is talking to you in a certain tone, okay? They got a little wrinkles in the middle of their eyebrows, okay? They looking at you and they speaking to you with a certain aggressive tone, okay? And then the words following say, we can take this outside. We can take this outside. So I got a few terms that I kind of just want to throw at you. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe it is a few selected people here in America that understand these phrases. You know what I'm saying? Because what we're going to watch, it just kind of blows my mind. And what we're going to watch is a demonstration of when individuals are not paying attention to their job, to their duties, what they're supposed to be doing, and they're trying to be cute for TikTok. They're trying to be cute for the gram, and it just doesn't work if you can't follow up through with it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be half pimping. You know, you can't put one foot in and then one foot out. Like you can't be all bark and no bite. You understand what I'm saying? So if somebody runs up on you and says, hey, I'm going to pop the trunk on your punk ass, like, what do you think that means? Like, they're not going to go to their car, open a trunk and give you a birthday present. No, they going to maybe, possibly pull out a illegal or legal firearm and use that on you. You know what I'm saying? Or I got that heater. I got that heater right here with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not talking about a physical heater to keep them warm, which, I mean, it could probably keep you warm, but you understand what I'm saying. Or like, is somebody, like growing up, the phrase of, I wish somebody would. They're not asking, I wish somebody would, bring me roses or come fix my car. Like, no. They're specifically talking about an individual would do something crazy to give them a reason to act upon that craziness. It's these phrases that we have to be aware of. And if you're an adult, maybe you shouldn't be using these phrases if you don't know what they mean. You know what I'm saying? And it's weird that a lot of these white folks, when they want to act up and act out, and then when they get confronted, oh no, that's hey, that's not what I meant. Like, come on. So we're gonna watch Jasmine Crokett versus Nancy Mace. And when I heard about this, I just assumed this Nancy Mace was like a real, like, had that presence that she's calling out Jasmine to come outside and fight. I just pictured someone, a lady a little bit tougher. Like, damn, it's really going down like that? They really trying to solve healthcare like that they willing to squabble over? But no, that's that definitely wasn't the case. So let's go ahead and watch Mr. Brian here interview. It's the only one I could find of Jasmine kind of speaking up about what happened during this moment.
I'm joined now by Congresswoman Jasmine Crokett. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Absolutely.
So as I think most people watching might know, there was a little bit of a blow up, a spat between you and Nancy Mace at this latest Oversight Committee meeting. Here's a quick clip of that.
Somebody's campaign coffers really are struggling right now. So she gonna keep saying trans so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or
Do
not.
not call me a child. I am no child.
I want
Don't
to
even
find
start.
out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those
I'm 47 years
emails
old. I have broken
actually
more
have.
glass ceilings than you
Chairman,
ever
I
Order,
am
please.
reclaiming my
Let's go.
time.
You will not do that. I
Order.
am not a child.
I am reclaiming my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr. Chairman, the committee is not in order.
All right. Order.
Congressman, what's your reaction?
Okay. Time out. time out. Wait a minute. Let me put some pimping. Okay, hey, if somebody is talking to you in a certain tone, okay, they got a little wrinkles in the middle of their eyebrows, okay, they looking at you and they speaking to you with a certain aggressive tone, okay, and then the words following say, we can take this outside. We can take this outside. 10 out of 10. I don't know what individual, what human being that has been living on this earth X amount of years is not going to understand we can take this outside. Trust me, if somebody, an individual speaking to me aggressively and they ask me to step outside and handle business, I'm not going to assume they're asking to drink a beer, to have a cigarette. No, they want to fight. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. No, that's not. And I hope they show the rest of it. If not, then I'll try to find a clip so we can watch, because then all of a sudden when she got called out, like, hey, you're promoting violence, you're threatening somebody, and all of a sudden Republicans like, oh no, that's not what she meant. No, she was like, I mean, could she be asking to go out there and smoke a cigarette or continue the conversation outside? Come on.
Action to being the latest target of Nancy Mace's, I guess, what's now her weekly bit of manufactured outrage.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if people can't see the writing on the wall, it is clear that, number one, she's an unserious lawmaker. And number two, that she will do anything for clicks and anything for money. That is what it's about. And the fact that I was calling her out because I was simply trying to present an amendment that would bring back the Civil Rights and Liberties Subcommittee, which is a subcommittee that historically has been a long-standing subcommittee of the Oversight Committee, but it's a subcommittee that would be committed to all of our civil rights, all of our freedoms. And the fact is, she decided to respond and start talking about, women being raped by trans folk. And I don't even know where she got that from, but I'm like, that's not even what we're talking about. And I made it clear that she has truly found out that if she talks about trans people, then people will donate to her. Right. And so I was calling that out. And then she decided she wanted to get an attitude and tried to threaten an actual fight. Now, when the rubber met the road, and basically we said that that's out of line and you can't threaten violence, then all of a sudden, oh, well, she could have meant that, she just wanted y'all to go outside and have coffee.
Yeah, so right. Go outside for a smoke, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we're not going to move that that's a violation. Like, listen, I don't know who y'all think I am, and I know y'all try to play me for dumb because I'm black and or because I'm woman, but the reality is that I know what she meant by it, just like she know what she meant by it. But the reality is that she's nothing more than a coward because she truly believes, again, that this is an opportunity for her to raise money. So I'm sure the emails have already gone out. I'm sure she was sending a text message while we were sitting in committee and said, let's go ahead and raise money off of this. But her threatening violence, that is what gives license to the crazy MAGA followers, where she's doing it to get a few dollars. And the reality is that my staff has to listen to the death threats that real crazies follow behind her and give when I'm literally just trying to make sure that this country works for everybody and not just those that elected me.
And it's crazy. It is. I still don't understand how individuals that know that they're being followed, they know that they're being listened to, and they continue to put on a show. I done looked at what's her name, Nancy Mace. I done seen her. She is not about that life. She is not about that life. Like, once again, I know you can't judge a book by its cover. Under this shirt, man, I got a ripping 6-pack and pecs that are just make you go crazy. But I'm just saying, she's not about that life. You know what I'm saying? So why is she doing that? She's only doing that to put on a show, to sound tough. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I want to show my audience, my fans, my cult following that I can speak tough to an African American. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can put her in her spot, because we know when she said, "Oh, child," like, she's not calling her a child. That's what my older generation, aunties and my mom and my grandmother, they would say, "Oh, child," like, "Oh, please," like bro, like saying bro or homie. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on, child. Like, we know that. She knows that. She knows that. But yet she's putting on a show. And her putting on a show is going to embolden these real idiots to actually try to do something. And then when somebody puts them in their spot, now we the bad guys. Now we're going to jail because I had to defend myself over some crazy ass person who now feels emboldened and like they're invincible because of Trump or idiots that we just seen. It's all a trickle effect, but somebody is going to get checked. So, hey.
The irony of this is she purposefully misinterpreted you saying child, which is just a term of endearment. It's like me saying bro.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to actually think that I think that they're my brother by virtue of saying it. It's just a word that people say. So she does the whole manufactured outrage bit, pretends that she's upset about being called a child, but then immediately goes on to prove exactly that thesis, prove why she is a child, prove the very thing that she's claiming she's not. And so is there any acknowledgement from even her own colleagues that she is doing exactly that she's proving she's the very thing she claims not to be?
No, I mean, listen, I think that there are certain people that are on their own islands, and Nancy Mace is one of those when it comes to the Republican Party. She's on her own island. She's doing her own thing. We know that McCarthy wanted to get her out. We know that she's not really what I would consider to be one of those that is beloved by the Republican caucus. And so she's found out, though, that by following in the footsteps of Marjorie, because that's exactly what she's doing,
right,
is let me just say the most ridiculous things I can, and I can raise money. And that is why she's decided, she was talking about trans folk in the bathrooms. I don't know for how long, and talking about how she's scared to go in the bathroom. Last time I checked, in the rules package that they passed with the Republican speaker, they said no trans women in the bathrooms.
But
what
that's
are you
the
afraid
thing.
of?
They can't allow the dog to catch the car because then they have nothing to complain about. It's the reason that Republicans refused to pass the border bill that they themselves claimed that they wanted in the 118th Congress, because they don't want to solve the problems, because then they would prevent themselves from having a problem to run on.
Exactly.
And so first of all, just a quick note, I think there is some irony in the fact that she tried to pick a fight when her last bit of manufactured outrage just the previous week was her pretending that she needed her arm in a sling because a handshake injured her. So for that person to go around picking fights is probably a little misguided.
Correct.
But the second thing that I wanted to bring up is, isn't it bizarre for her to go out on a limb and pretend that she is some champion for women's rights when her whole identity is really predicated on her allegiance to Donald Trump, who has more than 24 sexual assault allegations leveled against him, when he was just found guilty and convicted of 34 felony counts for charges related to a hush money payout for an affair he had while his wife was at home with their infant son. A judge came forward and said that he raped E. Jean Carroll. So on issue after issue after issue, does the cognitive dissonance count for nothing here?
No, I mean...
All right. So, of course, if you guys want to watch the rest of that, go ahead, go on to Brian's page so you guys can get the full interview. I definitely give him a view for that. But I just kind of want to get a nice understanding of her perspective of it and just her, her opinion on the matter. And it all boils back down to individuals trying to create fake outrage or fake made up circumstances to make them look like the villain, and then I guess raise money out of the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of sad that now individuals are using politics in order to enrich themselves. Like, normally it was like a thing, that kind of like happened in the back. You know what I'm saying? Like, not in public view. Like, when you're in public, you're like what you're like a made up image. You know what I'm saying? Like a made up AI image. But now it's like you can capitalize off your ignorance. Like you don't even have to pretend to be smart and clever and a genius. Like, no, you can be just downright ignorant and selfish and stupid all in one, and then still make a political career. It's crazy. You know, and Nancy Mace, whatever her name, like, that's a perfect example. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to dig a little deeper to see what she has done for her constituents, because I can probably bet, I'm not a betting man, but I can probably bet she has done very little to nothing to make those she represents that much better. And just by what I've read up so far, she can't. I don't think she has the capabilities to do that. You know, but that's politics. That's what Donald Trump has brought in to politics. It's all show and no intellectual skills, no nothing. And that's what we got to deal with. But once again, guys, if you agree or disagree with anything I said in this video, let me know in the comments down below, or hit that Discord button so me and you can have that one-on-one talk. And like always, let's have that conversation.